I'm sure this video is going to go over well. Today, I want to talk about celebrity worship, because for the past year or so, I've been kind of thinking to myself that celebrity worship in its traditional form has been kind of dying out, which I thought was a good thing. But recently, I've learned that unfortunately that is not the case. It is still alive and well. And I think that celebrity worship is a negative social class indicator. I know this seems pretty out of left field for my channel, but if you think this is interesting, make sure you leave a like and subscribe for more videos just like this one. Also, consider becoming a member. I have a couple of membership options down below. You can see those by clicking the join button, and I appreciate any support that I can get, but only if you have the means to do so. I don't want you guys blindly giving me your money.
I just saw a grown woman crying over Taylor Swift getting engaged. What the fuck? I get being a fan of someone, okay? I am a Glazer, but what the fuck is that? And in the video, she was sitting there talking about the artist I've known for so long is finally getting engaged. Who gives a fuck? Like, you're really that surprised about the most obvious shit ever? Like, I really do get being a Glazer, okay? I have the Cherry Bomb cover tattooed on me, okay? Say Tyler album. I got Cherry Bomb right there. Oh, guess what? It's over there, too. Oh, what's that? If it would focus, call me, you should get lost. Cherry Bomb record that just came in, and every other album he's made right below it. But if Tyler ever announced some shit like that, why would I give a fuck? Bitch, I'm here for the music, not for your personal life.
So by this point, there have probably been thousands of videos posted by Swifties who are crying over the fact that Taylor Swift got engaged. This is a woman that they have never met, they never will meet, and this woman has no idea that they exist, but they are crying over it. Now, I need to make it clear from the jump that this video is not meant to be a knock on Taylor Swift's music or anything. It's not really my cup of tea, but that's not the point of this video. If you're a casual Taylor Swift enjoyer who likes her music, maybe goes to a concert if it's within your budget, this video isn't about you. This video is about people who have parasocial relationships and unhealthy obsessions with celebrities. And I think a big sign of celebrity worship is something that he kind of alluded to in his video, is when a lot of the discourse surrounding an artist or an athlete, it becomes more about their personal lives and what they're doing in their personal lives versus their actual accomplishments. And I think that recently Taylor Swift is a great example of that. Again, this has nothing to do with her music, but that's exactly the problem. I mean, let me tell you guys, some of my favorite artists are people who have basically zero social media presence and they just put out music. And the relationship ends right there. I think their music is great, but I just don't really care about what they're doing in their personal lives. It doesn't affect me. But I think when it becomes really dangerous is when it doesn't just affect your life, but it starts affecting the lives of people around you. There was a clip that I really wanted to share in this video, but the creator turned off video sharing, so I'm going to respect her wishes. But basically, she was saying that a parent named their child Kelsey Taylor. So first name spelled like Travis Kelce's last name, and then the middle name is Taylor. It used to be that you would pass down names through your family. It used to be that a kid could be named after his father. That's kind of fallen out of fashion, but it still happens. Or you would name your kid after your great uncle or something. Instead, that individual just chose to name their kid after two celebrities whom they will never meet. They will never meet these people, and these people have no idea that this kid exists. But we can take a look at the comments on that video. This one says, I heard a mom yell Jacob Edward last name, and she got embarrassed when I asked if it was from Twilight. If it was just one name or the other, sure, why not? But both together, she's going to hate explaining that her whole life. God forbid they ever split. That's the thing about this, is that this kid is going to be bullied. They are going to be set up to be bullied all throughout middle school, all throughout high school, all because her parents wanted to name her after two celebrities who she will never meet in her life.
Our society is so just in the slumps of just despair that we care more about Taylor Swift and Travis Hunter or Travis Kelce. I don't even care at this point. Care more about them being engaged than we care about what's going on in our own country's economics and our own country's like political status. That's how horrible our country is. Literally, the world is almost basically ending. And people are standing there behind their phones like, oh my gosh, they got married. They're engaged. Bro, pick up your phone and go freaking talk about how, I'm not going to get political, but like, why don't you advocate for other things instead of posting about how these two literal, like, just horrible people, I don't even like either one of them, like, bro, I love football, but screw Travis Kelce. That guy's I do not like either of them. They don't even care about our country. They're more worried about freaking political or freaking social media fame for getting married than they care about anything else.
Yeah.
Our society is lost.
I see what this guy is saying, but I think we need to be a little careful. There's nuance to this. Let me preface this by saying that it's okay to not talk about politics all the time. We need an escape from that. We need times where we can kind of turn our brains off from that and not worry about it. We all engage in different forms of escapism. You guys know I like to play video games. That's what it is for me. But I get what he's saying. You know, the whole thing, it just seems completely out of touch. And I don't really know why people care about it so much when two extremely rich people who you will never meet are getting married. Okay, great. Most Americans can't afford to live. Most Americans can't afford a $1,000 emergency. So I get what he's saying. You know, the whole thing feels completely out of touch. And it's funny because these were the same people who were criticizing Jeff Bezos for his extravagant wedding in Venice or wherever it was. So I guess this time it's the billionaire that they like, so they're willing to give her a pass. All right, I found this clip which says, unpopular opinion, but why is everyone crying that Taylor Swift is engaged? I'm happy she's happy, everyone deserves that. But I quite frankly couldn't even pretend to be emotional or deeply care. I think it's strange to be so attached and emotionally involved in a celebrity's life. And in a similar vein, I found this clip which says, live reaction to Taylor Swift being engaged. And then the caption says, I cried more than I did at my own wedding. And it's like, you're not even the main character in your own story. Like, what are we doing, guys? It's just people living their lives vicariously through the lives of others. And again, I think if you're a casual fan of an artist, there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. But I think this is getting too far. And the reason I think that this whole celebrity worship thing is a negative class indicator is, you know, when you think about someone who worships celebrities in this way or has celebrity worship syndrome, it's almost always someone who is lower or middle class, whereas people in the upper class, they don't really engage in that because they don't need to. They have their own life, which is interesting enough to the point where they don't feel the need to live vicariously through the lives of others. Whereas people who are kind of lower on the social totem pole, a lot of it really is just cope in a way that they will never get to that level. They will never be a billionaire pop star. And so they care more about the life of a celebrity who they will never meet than their own life. I used to work in a stadium, and one of the things you learn when you're there all the time and you're close to all of the athletes as they're doing their thing, you realize, oh, this guy's just a person. He's been built up in the media this way, but he's just a human being like the rest of us who happens to be one of the best in the world at playing this sport. And it's basically the same way in the music industry and the film industry. You realize that they're just people, just like the rest of us. And that's why people who work in these industries don't really get that celebrity worship syndrome in the same way that people who are just working a regular 9-to-5 job might. And I think the other reason it's dangerous is because so many of these people lack nuance in talking about these subjects. I think there's nuance in everything, but with a lot of the people who are fans of Taylor Swift, it's just like, no, she is the greatest person to ever walk the face of the earth. She can do no wrong because, again, they will defend her actions. And it's dangerous to look at any single human being like that, whether it's in politics or the arts or business, whatever it is. I mean, I cannot imagine being just a casual Taylor Swift fan and being surrounded by these people who have this obsessive parasocial relationship with her. I'll be honest, guys, I used to be a big Formula One fan. I would watch all of the races. I had drivers that I would root for and other drivers that I would root against, but at a certain point, Formula One started marketing the drivers more as celebrities and media personalities. So it became more about that. It gets to the point where it's more about the off-track drama and all of this BS than it is about their actual accomplishments. And it's so off-putting. And also this year, the actual racing product, it's been so boring to watch. And so I don't even tune into the races anymore. It's just not interesting to me. And I really do think it goes back to the class thing, because guys aren't immune from this either, guys. I know I've been ragging on Swifties in this video, who are mostly women, but guys do this too with athletes all the time. It's the same thing for guys as well, where maybe they played sports as a kid or during high school, but never wound up getting to the professional level. And so they live their lives vicariously through athletes who they will never meet. And I think a lot of the people who worship celebrities in this way, a lot of them just have way too much time on their hands. Maybe they don't have enough hobbies or enough interesting things going on in their lives, so they have to focus on what other people are doing, essentially. If someone is busy with kind of an intense 9-to-5 job and they have hobbies on top of that, they don't really have time to be paying attention to a lot of this stuff. And I think that a lot of pop culture keeps a lot of people distracted from taking steps to improve their own lives. It's not a bad thing to consume pop culture. Again, we all need forms of escapism in our lives. We all engage in different forms of escapism, which is fine as long as it's done in moderation. I said at the beginning of this video that for a while I thought that celebrity worship was dying, but what I really think is happening is that it's also just taking on a different form. I think what's going to happen is it's going to stop being celebrity worship in the traditional way that we think about it, and more like influencer worship. We're already starting to see the signs of that. But at the same time, I also think that we're seeing signs that people still do want authenticity. I think a lot of the content on YouTube that's starting to get a lot more popular is the really low production value kind of stuff, kind of like what I'm doing. I think a lot of people are getting kind of sick of these super edited, high production value videos, and so you're starting to see more creators get big off of just basically talking into a microphone with some gameplay in the background. I think what the internet has done has shown a lot of people that there are plenty of other people out there who don't really care what's going on in Hollywood or in sports or in the music industry. But I do think that if you just go up to the average Joe on the streets, they're still going to be totally plugged into that world of caring about what is going on in a celebrity's life. And that whole world, it just seems so outdated to me because, again, I think the internet has shown us that a lot of people don't care about that. And that's why you don't really see that kind of thing dominate news headlines anymore. A lot of people say that Taylor Swift is the last true pop star. I think that it's never been a better time to focus on yourself. It's never been easier to start a side hustle or something, or start a business, because you have all of the information on how to do it at your fingertips, which it does have drawbacks. It's more competitive to do that than ever before, and that's a real concern. But the people who are focusing on themselves right now, I think, are the people who really have the potential to climb the class ladder, so to speak. So I guess the lesson for today's video is just don't worship people that you're never going to meet. I mean, I feel like everyone has a god, whether they're religious or not. Some people, it's their god in their religion. Other people, their god is money. Other people, their god is themselves, which can also be dangerous. And for other people, sadly, their god is celebrities who they are never going to meet. So I hope you guys appreciated this discussion. If there's anything I said that you disagree with, please let me know in the comments below. I want to hear all of the different perspectives that I can get Once again, subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and if we can put an end to celebrity worship in 2025, then financial freedom will prevail. Bye.